I usually tell people creativity is something that we already have. Everybody has some level of creativity. The difference is how I nurture mine and how you nurture yours. You have to really do a lot in terms of research and self-evaluation also, because this thing comes down to passion also. Don't, because some people just transition because they saw somebody earning $2,000 in 2 weeks. I want that kind of money. If your motivation is for that end goal, then you are going to be frustrated by the learning journey before you come to the ending goal. Yeah. So I think the orientation is very critical, and you have to leverage a lot in terms of networking.
The world is fast evolving thanks to technology, thanks to artificial intelligence that has seen the industries grow to many different levels. But there are so many concerns. Is AI going to replace our jobs? Do we all need to transition into tech? Or is it about digital transformation? Do we all need to upskill to be able to use artificial intelligence? Today we have a guest speaker who is going to enlighten us about the difference between digital transformation and transitioning into tech, and why we all don't need to transition into tech, but we can embrace the tools that are being developed to make our work easier. So today we have Colin, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to introduce himself. Welcome, Colin.
My name is Colin Nyakwe, and I'm the founder of Greenlead, and I'm also a software developer. Yeah.
So maybe, Collins, you can tell us a little background about yourself, how you found yourself working in tech.
I joined JQuat, did a degree in medical biochemistry. Then I transitioned into tech when I was in third year. Did a software development certification at Maurine school, and after I finished, I decided I don't want to dive deep into learning tech. I wanted to build digital solutions for the problems we face in our societies, and that's how I came up with an idea to go into the startup world. And then I started Greenlead. It's almost 9 months now. And it's a climate tech startup, and we are still under development. There is so much next year lined up. Yeah.
So you said you transitioned into tech while still in college. So you actually never graduated, like you said, medical biochemistry graduate.
Yeah.
All right. So now, as an entrepreneur who is having a startup in the tech, how does a normal day in your life look like? How does a normal day in your company look like?
Not much for now. 9 months in, but we've not yet been incorporated. That's scheduled for January. We'll be launching in January. And courtesy of Safaricom, we'll be having our first partnership. And but for the activities, we've not done much. In the startup world, you learn that you have to concentrate more on the customer acquisition more than the product, because you might build a product that's not needed by the customer in the end. Yeah, so we've done so much in terms of leveraging on social media to get validation from our customers. And we've made a lot in terms of organic traction. We've received a lot of interest even from Europe, countries like England and Greece. We've also received interest from Namibia. There's a company that sent us a request on LinkedIn inquiring about our services, but when they realized we are not incorporated, the deal went off. Yeah, so we are trying so much so that in January we get incorporated and we don't lose a lot of people who are showing interest in us. Yeah.
So in my first video, you commented that actually many people have a wrong idea of tech and how it's evolving.
Yeah.
So you said we all don't need to transition into tech, and many people don't get the correct orientation.
Yeah.
When maybe someone doesn't have a background in tech,
yeah,
and they want to start venturing into tech, but we don't get the correct orientation.
Yeah.
What's your perspective of that?
My view is that there is digital transformation and then there's transitioning into tech. When you are transitioning, you are going all in to learn about all the tech skills, dive deep into particular skill and learn it in depth if you wish. But for transformation, you can decide to just wait for the tools that developers will build. Like for content creators, you don't have to go into tech. There are tools that will assist you with that. And thanks to AI, we have very many tools for content creators, for marketers, and other skills. And my view about the orientation is very wrong. It's very shallow. Let me just say it like that. I like what LB said about digital skills. Yeah, they are very important right now, very important to everybody, whichever industry you are in. But the amount of information, the orientation that we give people is very shallow. You can watch a lot of TikTok videos, and all you can see is a short video of, let's say, 3 minutes. Somebody saying, I learned this skill, went into this website, registered, started making money in just 3 minutes. But you're not giving people the entire process. Give us the pitfalls that involved you starting to learn, the pitfalls in between until you started making this amount of money. Yeah. And that involves a lot. There's a lot of challenges in between. You have to share those challenges you face so that I can decide if I'm capable of going past that, of which I'm going to encounter them, maybe. Yeah. And there's for affiliate marketing, most of this happens for affiliate marketing. You get videos, people saying you can go to Amazon, create an account, do this, direct traffic to your website, and you start earning money. It's not that easy. It's never that easy. These people don't tell you the amount of social media work they are putting to direct that kind of traffic to their websites. They have a very strong social media presence. That's what they don't tell you also. And you have to leverage on social media for you to drive such kind of traffic of people to your website, to your content. And that's what misses in terms of people teaching others on how to get these skills, make money out of the skill that you learn. And it comes out clear when you've learned that particular skill, and now you have completed. You go to Amazon, register an account, and now when you want to just start driving that traffic to your website, you realize that you don't have that kind of leverage, and it's because you missed something that they didn't teach you from the kind of video you watched, maybe. And that involves the entire process that has been left out. Somebody has been at the start and the ending, but what involves in between, they've left it out. Yeah, so I think the orientation is very wrong, and people are just diving into tech for. I think it's for the thrill of it. Many people are just diving into tech for the thrill of it. You talk about tech, and all of a sudden somebody wants to go into tech out of thrill. And that's a very bad orientation for yourself also. Leave alone the person who talks much about tech. If you are going into tech, you have to go in with a purpose. While I was transitioning into tech, I usually have I develop very many ideas in my head, and I realize these ideas can only be solved using if I can transition into tech. So you see, I had a very good orientation before, such that I already know what I want to do after I learn this particular skill. Yeah, and if you don't go in with that kind of orientation, then you'll be frustrated.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So what I hear you saying is that most people, maybe you see someone, a content creator, maybe he's a web developer.
Yeah.
He said he went and did a different course in uni, but now they're working remotely. So because I've seen this person makes this amount of money, they work from home, I also decide I want to leave my cashiering job to transition to tech. And yet I don't have a clear career path of what I'm going to do after I finish these 6 months, after I finish these 12 months.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about how you should understand the importance of the tech ecosystem before you decide this is what I can do?
It's very important. It's very important that you understand what you are going to dive into. And it's very critical. It's very critical that you choose a very specific part, and you do a lot of research about it before you dive into it. And there's a lot in tech. You can learn a lot of skills, and but you have to be very careful which one you choose. There are very many that have been flooded. Others are still coming up. Others have a timeline. They can be predicted. Let's say in the next 5 years, something won't be that very much needed, a particular skill. And that's the downside of tech. You wake up tomorrow, there's a new tool doing this. That happened even in the last 2 weeks, when ChatGPT said that they are going to create an option for people to create their own GPTs. You can imagine you don't have to be a coder to create your own GPT app. So in that instance, many tech startups that are AI startups were like, we have to develop a moat outside what we have with ChatGPT plugins. And that's a problem. So you really have to do a lot of research before you decide which particular skill you want to learn. And about how to develop that kind of knowledge and do a lot of research on it. You have to decide beforehand. If you're going to watch that video of somebody describing that I learned this skill and I'm making money now at this point, if you're going to dive into what they are mentioned in a 3-minute video, then it's better you do a lot of research on it, or just look for that person and let the person give you the entire process of what they went through, so that at that point you can decide, okay, I'm capable of starting, but there's a lot of uncertainties in between, so I'm not, and those uncertainties, you can't just skip them until you come to the point where you are making money from that skill. Yeah, so that's a problem. And you have to decide very early what you want to do with that particular skill. And I usually tell these people usually ask me this particular question, like, do I need to drop the course that I'm doing to transition into tech or learn this particular skill? And I'm very skeptical about, usually very skeptical about that question, because I can't tell you to drop this or just stay there. So I usually ask people this rhetorical question. I want you to imagine, if you complete whatever you are learning, I want you to imagine a scenario where you don't get a job. Tell me what you'll do with that, with the skill that you've learned or the course that you did. Yeah, I don't want an answer to that. You can think for yourself for that. Yeah. So I can't really tell people learn this. There's a lot of skills that you can learn. There's others that are flooded, and in those that are flooded, someone can come from behind and learn it and still gain something from it also. So there's no particular direction. You can do a lot of research on whatever is available. You have to be very careful also on that. And you have to develop a very strong understanding of what you want to do after you learn that skill. Put the question of being employed out of that as a start. Yeah, you have to put the aspect of being employed out of that, such that you can develop something alternative. I have this alternative if I don't get employed, such that if you at all get employed, then okay, it's good. But what if you don't get employed? I already had an alternative. Yeah, you have to work on that.
Does this proper orientation only apply for those people who don't already have a background in tech, or even for someone looking to advance? Maybe you are doing computer science and you decide, actually I can become I can do software engineering. Yeah, so does the proper orientation only apply for those who don't have a background at all?
Not particularly. I think it applies across all spaces, and it's very hard to narrow it down to a particular space. So the orientation has to happen across all industries. And I usually tell people that you don't really have to transition. You don't really have to transition into tech. If what you are doing is making you money, what have you thought about transforming it such that you can dive into the digital ecosystem without having to learn to transition into tech? You don't have to be a software developer to learn to use a particular AI tool. You can learn it. You're a content creator. You can learn using a particular AI tool without being a software developer. That's just a tool. You don't have the developers can develop it, and you are just a user of it. And there's this particular question also people pose that what kind of orientation do you need to go into such spaces that need a lot of marketing? There's content creation, affiliate marketing. If you are not very good on social media platforms, you can't survive in such kind of spaces. That's for sure. Like for me, I'm not a fan of social media. I'm not in very many social media pages. Only on LinkedIn and WhatsApp. I use LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and Facebook. IG, I'm not there, and X, I'm not there. So I already know for myself I can't survive in such kind of spaces that involve a lot of marketing, because for a niche that I select to do marketing, I have to decide the kind of my choice of customers. If it's the young population, then I know Instagram is the best choice to do that kind of thing. And the problem is that I'm not in that particular social media app, then that's a problem already. If it's the older generation, I can use Facebook. Okay, I'm there, but if your product cuts across all people, despite their ages, then you already have a problem in that. Yeah, you really have to do a lot of research. Do a lot of research about what you are going to do, and also you better know yourself, your capabilities, your weaknesses, your strengths, and how you can leverage on opportunities. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the role of innovation in setting individuals apart in the tech landscape?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And developing an innovative mind is very crucial. Because let's say we are four of us, we apply for a job, we almost have everything equal, then I love to look for a very distinctive, a uniqueness part of each one of you. And if you have that particular innovative kind of reasoning, then you are the best bet to get that job. I usually tell these people that if you develop an innovative mind, you can stretch yourself out of whatever you are trying to do in the end. I have started the climate tech startup, and I'm going to start another one in February, an edutech. I want to teach people, I want to simulate a real world experience so that learners can engage with the real world experience early on. And part of that is that I want to include financial management, dealing with finances in that kind of education, because that's something we are not taught. Because somebody is going to tell you, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a software engineer. In the end, all of you are going to touch money, and that it's a problem if all of you have a different kind of you have different careers, but in the end you are going to end up touching money, and it's a problem because this is something you are never taught. You have never taught about financial management. Yeah, so that's I'm also working on that. And it's good to develop a very good innovative mind, and creativity is something that can be taught. Everybody is creative. It's the only problem is how you nurture your creativity. You have to be in very different spaces to be creative. And there's this thing about networking. People really underrate the networking thing. I get this. If you go to my LinkedIn page, there was a hackathon called Hack for Earth for the COP28. And I was part of the winning team. and I'm the only African, I'm the only Kenyan in that team. So somebody inboxed me and said, wow, that's a great achievement. And their next comment was that, wow, you must be one of the best. No, I'm not. It's because I've placed myself in some kind of situations where I can get this kind of opportunities. I guess if I may say, a lot of people are way better. A lot of people are way better in terms of whatever they can do in terms of writing code, whatever. But if you don't create a very good network, you can't find this kind of opportunities. I was only part of that team because I have a very good network, both locally and in the international community. So I was only part of that team because I got that opportunity through that network, yeah? So somebody might be sitting and thinking, wow, you are the only African, the only Kenyan. Hey, that's a great achievement, but there's nothing much I did in that kind of hackathon we had. And it's because just I've leveraged on the opportunities that have been presented through my network. And but when I present it, you might be thinking, wow, that's a very good achievement. That's a very good achievement, but it's not that.
Maybe everyone who doesn't see it's a great achievement, but for someone who is maybe they see your work and they say, I want to be like Colin Sunday, I want to have my own startup. Yeah, so they think. Okay, so my next question is, what's the role of having, you see, when someone is transitioning to tech, maybe they think all an employer is looking for is the technical skills, but we don't play the importance of having the soft skill, being a team player, being a critical thinker. So what role does that play in making sure that you, as someone transitioning to tech, you will be successful in whatever job you get? Because I believe many people in tech, they work in teams to develop products, to develop websites.
I like that question because I've encountered such kind of scenario where you have to pick between people. You have to pick particular people. So I'm lucky that my co-founder for the Greenlead startup is a friend that we were in the same campus, in the same class, so I don't have a lot of problem with him. And I usually say that the passion is very critical. Passion is very critical. If you develop it very early on for something that you want to dive into, then trust me, you are going to succeed in it. And I realized this later because my co-founder is so much invested in the startup more than I am. And that's very good for me because sometimes I have to do a lot other things, separate things, and he has to take a lot, and he doesn't always complain about it. And the thing about having passion and having extra skills that are outside the technical skills is that you are assured that there is consistency. I'm going to be with this particular person for this kind of this long period of time. I realized that people just join in for the thrill of a startup. Okay, you are a startup, I want to join. But it's just the initial thrill. Later on, they are like, so this was it. And yeah, so for me, like the second startup that I want to launch in February, I was recruiting a team of developers. And I really wasn't very much looking at the technical skills that they have. I was very much concerned about the kind of effort they can put in, the amount of passion that they have delving into something that may stretch you so long. It doesn't guarantee anything. So you really have to find the kind of right kind of people. Because you might have the right technical skills, but after 1 month you decide, okay, I'm done with this. Yeah. So I really don't look so much into technical skills, and I guess almost employers also have that kind of feeling that if you are not wholly part of whatever you are trying to do, then even your technical skills are very much irrelevant to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to attach a lot outside the technical skills. You have to put a lot of work in terms of getting those non-technical skills, and you have to develop a lot of passion for whatever you are doing, or else you'll give up. Any rational person will give up if you don't have you don't have passion for whatever you are doing. Yeah.
So I believe now that takes us back to the proper orientation part, because when you find maybe someone claiming they can teach you graphic design and they're not able to impart you with those soft skills, like you're not a problem solver, you give up easily. So that's why you'll find that after the 6 months you're done with the course, maybe you go to create your portfolio and you see no one is actually coming to you that they can offer you a job. So that's why now the soft skills really coming. Yeah, and I guess in the current world, it's more than just having the technical skills. What are some of the crucial skills that we all need to have because of the evolving technology?
I said I'm very skeptical about that question, and it's because I don't want to direct you to a particular path that may end up frustrating you. So that depends on how much research you do and how much networking you've done, such that you can engage people in particular industries and they can give you the entire process. And you have to do a lot of research. You have to do a lot of research on that, especially on social media. Twitter, people use Twitter and LinkedIn. Yeah, there's a lot of content about what's up and about. Every day there's something new. There's this thing you can do, and TikTok also has leverage on that. Content creators, they are using the platform to tell people this particular skill is good, this particular skill is good, but you see everybody's saying that their particular skill they are doing is good. So it all depends on you and the amount of research you'll do, and you really have to engage these people that are in that particular space so that they can give you the entire process. Part of what's on social media is done for content. People are trying to get money, and I can give you false information as long as I get paid. Yeah, so you have to do a lot on your own also to know that the particular skill that you have to learn. And but for one that I can say for people who are not in tech already, I can tell them leverage a lot for the AI tools that are coming out. Very many of them know how to use these AI tools. I realize so many people don't know how to prompt ChatGPT. Like I usually tell people, like, talk to ChatGPT. Assume you are talking to somebody, just talk to it. That's how you prompt ChatGPT. It's not a Google platform where you say you Google just 2 words, three words if they go at most. You can give ChatGPT even 500 words. Just give it an entire story, and then prompt it to give you a response depending on what you are asking. So it's very critical. And I can say that ChatGPT is more beneficial to somebody who does content, people who write like articles, something like that, more than it's important to me. And if you don't know how to use that kind of tool, and you are doing something like you are a social media manager, and you have to do a lot of newsletters, write a lot of articles, but you don't know how to prompt a tool like ChatGPT, then you are just doing it wrong. If you decide to transition into tech, or you have a tool that you can use to do a lot of your work. Yeah.
Okay. So what I hear is you encourage not those people who don't want to transition to just embrace these tools to make their work easy, and they don't like have to change their whole career.
Yeah.
So do you think we can get to a place where maybe our education system has incorporated these digital skills in our curriculum, like instead of going to Moringa or going to LX to pay something to do like a skill on the side, you just go to university and say, I'm going to do digital marketing? Do you think we can get to that place where these skills actually become part of our curriculum?
it's very difficult to do an overhaul of the whole education system. I think that's why there are very many private institutions that are cropping up nowadays. They are teaching about digital marketing, coding, and other skills that are not taught in institutions like universities. Yeah, and I don't think it's very easy to do an overhaul. So you have to now stretch yourself outside whatever you are learning. And there's this conference I attended, and somebody suggested the same thing that you've suggested, that these skills have to be incorporated in these learning institutions. But the panelist asked this question: why are you driving so much towards the education sector? Why can't you leave some part of educating these young people to the parents? Let parents do some kind of education also from homes, because the teachers are doing their part. They are following whatever they are given by the education system. They have to do it like they are given it, and they have to offer whatever they are told to offer. They have to offer the same thing to the learners. So a lot, if you decide to stretch out of the education system, then that means you have to look for somewhere else to learn that kind of thing. And that was directed to the parents to embrace that kind of thing. Look for institutions or vocational institutions that can teach your kids these particular skills that you want your school to teach students, because that's pushing a lot to the schools. So yeah, you have to do a lot out of the education system that we have, because we are not going to do an overhaul very, very soon. It's not going to happen.
But maybe for those of us who are looking forward to the Vision 2030, so what you can tell parents is that they should push themselves to pay for these extra courses for their kids. Maybe something that maybe if your school does not offer coding, and as maybe as low as the primary level, you want your kids to know coding, you can actually just look for an extra course in a different school.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe you can highlight for us the importance of training these individuals to, instead of just acquiring these skills to make money. You know, like in Africa, we have so many opportunities and global challenges that we face. But I tend to understand that most people just learn these skills so that they can be able to maybe to work remotely and make money. But we are not looking to solve the problems that Africa is facing. Maybe in the healthcare industry, we can apply tech to solve some of the problems. How do we train these people who are transitioning to tech, or those people who are already into tech, to be able to use those skills to solve the problems that are facing Africa?
Yeah, I like that question a lot, because somebody else asked me the same. And it's a problem when you start diving into the startup world. You have to be very careful what you're trying to bring into the market. Some things are very political. And I like the part where you said that we have very many problems in our society, also in Africa, and some of them can be solved using tech. And that's the very best orientation somebody can have initially. If you want to transition into tech, you already have a proper orientation that I want to learn this particular skill because I want to solve a particular problem that I already know. Yeah, and when you get to that stage where you want to build a digital solution for a problem in the society, you have to do a lot of research also on that, because you have to be very careful that you don't end up solving a first world problem. Let's say you want to build up, let's say you've realized Netflix has a problem with this, blah, 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 and you want to come up with some kind of Netflix that's way better than they have. You see, that's a first world problem. That's not a problem that affects most of the people in Kenya. So when coming up with a solution, you have to put the users, the customers, your society at the forefront. How are they going to benefit? Netflix is not going to benefit me that much. But if you build a digital platform for the health sector, then that's beneficial for almost everybody. 90% or 100% of the people. Yeah. In terms of developing problem-solving skills, much involves a lot of research. I usually tell people creativity is something that we already have. Everybody has some level of creativity. The difference is how I nurture mine and how you nurture yours. I have to go outside whatever I'm learning, view other sectors. Like let's say I want to build a digital solution for the health sector. I have to stretch myself into that sector, think about how the activities that they do, what problems they face, and at that point you can decide, okay, I'm going to develop a digital solution for this particular problem. Yeah, and that's how it starts. So a lot also has to go into research, networking. You have to engage people so that you can learn the problems they face. You have to be in particular experiences that may push you to build such kind of solutions. The CEO of Zidalia, I've engaged with her, and she started a startup based on experience. Her sister is a young kid, and these school-going kids, and she decided she wants to build some kind of like an Uber, but now for school kids. Yeah. So she built that out of experience. So sometimes these are the things you experience, but if you don't put a lot of thinking into it, they end up being like a phase. So it's just a phase that was there, and it's over. You are going on with the activity. So you have to put your mind into that particular thing to see how you can build something out of it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I believe the integration of AI into our daily lives it comes both with opportunities and challenges. For most of us, we already know the opportunities. So maybe you can tell us what are some of the challenges that this integration of AI in our daily lives that it can come with.
One thing is AI will make people lazy. AI will make people lazy, and for me, I particularly know that, let's say, AI started recently, but I had already transitioned it on tech. I can build a website from scratch, but now with ChatGPT, I don't have to do that. I can just write the whole description of what I want, and it can give me an entire website in just seconds. So that's part of it. It's going to make people very lazy. But I don't want to put that lazy as it sounds. I have to put it in quotes, because at the end, everybody wants something done quick. If you can save me time, then if I give two people opportunities, and one is going to do it in a short span of time than the other, I don't mind how you do it. Yeah, if you are going to do it quick, then I'm going to give you the job. So it doesn't matter what you use, as long as you can deliver. So I can't put that lazy in terms of how it sounds. And part of what AI challenges that it presents is deep fake videos. Pictures will be also available. Yesterday there was an AI tool that was released, and the first test that was done was a video of somebody and a deep fake of the same using Elon Musk. And the kind of comments you get in such kind of posts is that AI is now this is the kind of tool that we don't want from AI, because we are going to create deep fake videos and photos that can't be authenticated from the original. Yeah, there's a lot of challenges, and that's where now cybersec comes in. Cybersec is going to grow a lot in terms of in that space regarding to whatever is happening right now. And so AI comes with its challenges. So it's us who have to now morph about what we can do with whatever challenges it presents and the opportunities that comes with it.
As a user of technology, or maybe often I'd be worried about the safety of my data. I feed all these social media platforms my data about me. How safe am I in using all these platforms?
You're not safe. Nobody is safe. There's this thing, people who are not in tech, always think like it's something they dream about and they find it on social media. It never happens that way. Somebody asked me, Facebook generates revenue from ads. Google does the same. Twitter, don't know Instagram, how Instagram works. But WhatsApp is just a platform. It doesn't have any ads. So how do they generate revenue? They sell your data. That's why when you go and type, let's say you type to somebody that I want this particular kind of shoe, where can I get it, blah blah blah. The next thing you go into Facebook, you are going to get your newsfeed filled with those kind of particular thing
and you wonder how did they know?
Yeah, that's how they do it. So WhatsApp sells their data. That's why Meta bought WhatsApp, because they wanted to use data, the kind of data that's on WhatsApp to drive marketing, for marketing purposes. Yeah, so you are not safe. Nobody is safe in terms of data. They have all our data, so nobody is safe. I usually don't have such kind of concern about my data unless I'm a very popular and famous person. If I don't have anything, then you can take whatever I have. It's not so much.
Okay, for me, I'd be worried because there's this movie I watched and they were talking about the power of data. So like if someone can actually like see you through your phone, I think that's some level of
privacy.
Yeah, if you can actually see me what I'm doing, know all my history, my search history on Google, that's just not safe.
Yeah.
As we wind up the show, I'd like you to tell my viewers the importance of embracing technology to enhance our personal and professional life, even if we don't want to either become techpreneurs or something like that.
It's very important to embrace tech because the world is becoming a digital village. And when I say that you embrace tech, I don't mean that you transition into tech. You can do a transformation using your businesses, whatever you are doing. And also in part of that, you have to do a lot of research. You have to be up to date. And when we talk a lot about AI, everybody thinks about people who are in tech only, but AI is coming into all industries, in the health sector, the transport sector, all industries. Yeah, so it's very crucial that people embrace it very early on. Yeah.
Okay, and also you can give us some insights on how we can be able to navigate some of the pitfalls that comes when someone wants to make an informed decision about either the digital transformation or actually transforming into tech itself.
A lot has to go into research, personal research. You have to do a lot of research as an individual. If you choose a particular path, look for people who are in that particular industry so that they can give you a lot of information about what happens there, where they started, their journey through whatever until they became successful. That's the particular kind of orientation that's always left out in those videos you watch on TikTok or YouTube. Yeah, people are on social media making money, so they don't care the amount of information they give you, whether it's important or not. So you have to do a lot on your own in terms of research before you decide to choose a particular path. And the pitfalls will always be there. But the question is, do you have the method to go past them? Do you have the method to go to past those challenges that you may encounter? And so you have to really do a lot in terms of research and self-evaluation also, because this thing comes down to passion also. Because some people just transition because they saw somebody earning $2,000 in 2 weeks. I want that kind of money. If your motivation is for that end goal, then you are going to be frustrated by the learning journey before you come to the ending goal. Yeah. So I think the orientation is very critical, and the orientation is very critical, and you have to leverage a lot in terms of networking. very many people don't like networking, or maybe they ask you, how can I do networking? There are very many communities on social media. There are events that are held physically you can go to, and most people don't want to invest their time in those kind of activities, because in the end it looks like I went for an event, came back, that's it. And you have to invest a lot in the kind of people that you engage with, because those are your networks in the end. And because I've also leveraged so much in terms of networking, I've built a very good network, both in Kenya and in the international community. And they've been very, very much helpful for me. And there are very many opportunities that have been presented to me because I've built a very good network. It's not because I'm very good in tech. I'm not so much very good in tech. And that's why I started with, I never wanted to learn tech to be an expert in terms of coding. I just wanted to learn tech so that I can know how particular digital solutions can be built for particular problems. Yeah, if I can know how to do that, and I know the process, I can give it back to somebody who is an expert to do that work for me. Yeah. So you really have to know yourself before you decide to dive into something.
So maybe for someone who like watched this show and they would love maybe you to mentor them in any or the other, where can they get you?
That's very difficult. But next year, there's a lot next year I have to do. So I can't guarantee much in terms of I can mentor somebody. I have a lot next year, very much, for also in the first 6 months. I have several meetings with Safaricom in January and February. And I also have an accelerator program for another startup that I have to be in, that I'm part of the team. That one I said of the Hack for Earth. They have launched an accelerator program, so we are the ones who have been already been accepted into the accelerator program. So that also happens within the first 6 months, and I'll also be launching another new startup. So there's a lot, but we can do engagements, and we can maybe have conversations in events that maybe we can both meet. We can meet with people. I'm not a very big fan of social media. So if people want to find me, they can find me on LinkedIn as Colin Sabayan. And they can also follow my startup page on called Greenlead on LinkedIn. For my contacts, maybe I can provide my contact later. You can have it. And for my email also. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay. So Collins, we really appreciate you for taking the time to come and share your insights about tech and digital transformation. I'm sure my learners have learned so much. And my takeaway would be that before you transition into tech, or before you decide you want to transform your business, do a lot of research, network, so that you don't end up frustrated because you just saw someone on TikTok saying, oh, learn this skill, within 6 months you will be a data analyst. So really focus on the research part, evaluate yourself, is this really what I want to do? Have a clear career path and a goal in mind. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and for more content is on the way. Comment, share, and see you in the next video.